Trusty motherfucking ape, coming at you live. It's a Sunday, March 22nd, 2026, and we will go and check the sound quality very quickly. 2026. All right, sounds like I can hear me. You can hear me. All things are good. Uh, so I'm here doing a thing. I'm back out in well, I'm not at home. We'll just say that I'm somewhere else. But yeah, I don't have my good microphone and stuff with me, so I am at a technological disadvantage. However, I wanted to check in, say hi, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that good bullshit. Uh, but yeah, before we get started, wait, we already got started, so we can't technically do that. T. Stark, CEO, good to see you. Says you have been chosen for background radio as I work. Oh, well, thank you for making this selection. Of course, I don't think there's a lot going on in the wider community. If you are here, you're missing Bad Science Sunday with Maya Atkinson, which I would highly recommend that as well. She's over there like talking to doctors, and she's a beautiful woman. So you could be enjoying that program, but as you've chosen to come here, no, uh, much love. So I'm gonna spend just yeah, probably about an hour on this one. I won't go too far. I do want to go and review, and we'll be reviewing in the future a couple of conversations that took place. The first was with myself and JG. I hopped onto JG's stream over there, theology, philosophy discussions, and we were talking for a little bit, kind of about the nature of morality and stuff like that. And then my friend, Fact of the Matter, jumped in there and apparently had some beef with JG. I wasn't aware of it, and so brought it up on the stream. But apparently, as I found out later, Fact of the Matter was himself streaming during that time, and so extended that to like so he was streaming when he came on with JG, and then continued streaming afterward. And so after I talked a bit more with JG, I ended up going over there and talking to those guys, Sammy and Will and everybody over in that hang. And so I wanted to kind of put both of those streams together for everybody here, for your own personal amusement or what have you. Panel verse side drama, side stories, which I find most amusing myself. But we'll not do that tonight. I wanted to clear a couple of videos out of this good old watch later list for us and cover some politics, random politics as it were, or maybe not so random. Um, but I did get a couple of stories in my feed. I just thought I'd briefly synopsize them for you. Um, and so this one is from experteditor.com, which I don't even know why Google just sends me shit. I swear. I look one thing up and Google's like, oh, you want to see more about this? And then they're all up in my business. But it says psychology says if your adult children rarely visit or call, you probably display these 8 behaviors without realizing it. And I thought this was interesting for me because, I myself, have a strained relationship with my parents, although I am staying with one of them at the moment. But also, I have my oldest child is about to become an adult, and we haven't spoken in a while. So there's that too. So it begins. This is one of those articles that will be uncomfortable to read, but it needs to be written because the parents who most need to hear this are almost always the last ones to see it. If your adult children rarely call, rarely visit, and seem to keep you at arm's length, your first instinct is probably to blame them. They are busy, they are ungrateful, their partner is a bad influence. The world has changed, and young people just do not value family the way they used to. But research on family estrangement published in Frontiers in Sociology tells a different story. When researchers compare the reasons parents and adult children give for distance, a consistent pattern emerges. Parents tend to blame external factors like divorce, situational problems, or their children's partners. Adult children tend to point to something internal to the parent: perceived disrespect of values or boundaries, or lack of parenting skills. The gap between those two perspectives is where the real problem lives. Here are 8 behaviors the research identifies that parents often display without realizing it. 1. You treat their boundaries as personal rejection. When your adult child says, "I would rather you call before coming over," or "I do not want to discuss my finances," and your response is hurt feelings, guilt, or the silent treatment, you are teaching them that having boundaries with you comes at a cost. So they stop setting boundaries with you. And then they stop calling because the only way to protect the boundary is to avoid you entirely. So yeah, interesting article. I'll link here in Happy Chat here, I suppose. And we'll just quickly go over the, I won't read the whole thing because obviously it's, but 2, you offer unsolicited advice disguised as concern. 3, you use guilt as a communication strategy. 4, you refuse to acknowledge past mistakes. I can relate to that one. 5, you have not updated your relationship model. That sounds kind of interesting. 6, you center yourself in their life events. Yep, yeah, I know that one. 7, you compare them to siblings or other people's children. And 8, you talk more than you listen. So those are the 8 behaviors. You can read more about that if you want to. If I can put it up here somehow. I know what I'm doing. I'm a total professional. If I can put it up here somehow. Yes, there it is. There is a link there if you'd like to read the full article. And then just a quick thing, because I keep getting updates on this too. This guy, CBS News, it's not so much breaking news anymore. But Trump administration ready to deport Kilmar Albrego Garcia to Liberia and ask judge to lift the block because they already told him you can't deport the dude, and then they're like, no, we really want to deport him. Can you unblock us? Liberia? Where the is Liberia? That's got to be like, hold on. Yeah, Department of Homeland Security said the order is the only impediment currently preventing the U.S. from carrying out Abreu Garcia's deportation. But why? Yeah, I had never figured out. Yeah, have they definitively proven that he is a member of MS-13 or any of that? No, I mean I don't think they did. But that's just a hot take there. And yeah, so that's the next thing going on. Grazie? Is that the is that Italian? I think no. Well, wait. Now I have to look it up. All right, we'll move on to the videos now. And so I wanted to move on that, and for some reason I saved this video, and we're looking at this governor's dinner and a speech from Trump. So I don't know why I saved it, but it's in here, and we're getting rid of it.
Apparently, you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know.
I didn't use my ad blocker tonight.
Vibe
Sorry.
coding meets drag and drop.
I don't have time for all that.
We'll see about that. All right, let me try to make up a site to sell some like theoretical kombucha. Make me a.
Why is it not? It wasn't skipping it. A little bit of a lag, but hopefully not too bad. All right, we'll go back to the beginning of this shindig here. We'll skip the like walking in part and stuff and get to the speaking part, I suppose. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Thank you. I told now I can say my movie star wife. Do you believe this? I have to live with now another title. Yeah.
I don't know if you're really like a movie star if you just like playing yourself in a documentary about yourself, like but I mean, I guess if the movie is very successful, you're kind of technically a star. I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly. Sorry, a little bit of lag on the YouTube end. I'm trying to blow up the screen here, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
He said, well, tell me about the
Oh, he said it's a Starkism. Okay, gotcha.
They're all governors, and just about we have a couple of cabinet secretaries, so we can probably include them. And every time they look in the mirror, every time they wake up or go to sleep, they look in that mirror and they say, I should be president, not him. So I said, despite that, it's a very friendly group. And it really is, too. Many, many friends and very competent people. Over the past year, we've already achieved a historic turnaround for our country. With unprecedented speed, we solved intractable problems. We really have done something. It's been an incredible first year for all of us. We've transformed stagnation into growth, weakness into strength, and chaos into order, liberty, and justice. We have done that.
How so? This is, and mind you, this is before he, like went out and started bombing the shit out of Iran, and yeah, just like like a couple weeks before it.
Today, our border is secure. Murders are at a 125-year low. Think of that.
Murders. I would like to look that one up.
Core inflation is the lowest in 5 years and going down. Prices are going down really rapidly. We inherited a mess, and we brought them down a lot, and we're going to go still further. And our military is more powerful than ever before, and we're just respected all over the world. Like I would say, we have maybe never been, but certainly not for many decades. Working with your states wherever we can achieve so much more. Your governors, your great people, your great leaders. You're just about.
Oh yeah, maybe I got this from somebody was commenting on this, I think, where they kept fucking his mic up, or maybe this has happened more than once. I don't know. I don't know if that's why I saved this or not.
Very popular. I know every one of you, and you've all had a pretty easy time becoming governor. That's because you've done really good work. From Thomas Jefferson to today, America's governors have been among the smartest, most creative, most talented Americans our country has ever produced. So many people, they leave other positions. I will not say the Senate, but we can say that, and they want to be governor.
All right, so I did fact check this a little bit, and just from the AI overview, it says that may actually be a true statistic. I don't know if it's a result of the Trump administration itself. Also, they're not counting obviously probably those people killed by ICE. They're not probably counted into that statistic since those dudes aren't being charged with murder, right? At least not some of them. But it says based on 2025 data, it is highly likely that murders in the United States have fallen to a 125-year low, with a report from the Council on Criminal Justice released in early 2026 indicates that the 2025 homicide rate is on track to be the lowest since 1900, representing a significant decrease in murders. Also, that's like what is counted as murder, or are those just the ones we know about? I mean, that's but then it says here are the details of the findings. 125-year low projected. Preliminary data shows the national homicide rate dropped sharply in 2025, potentially falling to roughly 4 per 100,000 residents. This would be the lowest level since 1900. And the largest one-year decline represented more than 20% decline in murders from 2024, which is the largest single-year percentage drop in recorded U.S. history. And there's more on this nuance on data accuracy. While 2025 saw a massive drop, some experts note that exact comparisons to the year 1900 are difficult because record keeping and data collection methodology were not consistent for the entire 125-year period. Well, that might be a problem too. I could see that.
Explain that to me, Mr. Governor. And we're going to save the Great Salt Lake. You know that, right? We've got our problem. He came in to see me today. These are the kind of things. He said, sir, we have to save the Great Salt Lake. I said, explain this to me, please. And in that city called Salt Lake City, somebody said, where is it located? I said, it's located in Salt Lake City, right? So he's...
What is he? He's rambling about Salt Lake City. Yeah.
Said, We're losing water rapidly, and it's getting smaller, drier. And you tell those people
The actual lake.
we're going to work on it really hard. We're going to save it. We're not going to let that go. That is what I call a real environmental problem, not using hairspray and I'm going to ruin the ozone, okay? I'm in my...
What? Like, it's probably like some result of global warming, I would imagine, if the Salt Lake is drying up. Is that a man-made lake? Hold on, I'm still on the last thing. I'm like, who is this Council on Criminal Justice? Because now that I'm looking at it, I'm going like, okay, they're not a government organization. Must be an NGO, I guess. We'll go to their about page. Advances the understanding of the criminal justice policy choices facing the nation and builds consensus for solutions that enhance safety and justice for all. Independent and nonpartisan, the council is okay, well, they can always say that, but are they really? The council is an invitational membership organization and think tank, serving as a center of gravity and incubator of policy and leadership for the criminal justice field. Okay. The Council is a catalyst for progress based on facts, evidence, and fundamental principles of justice. Above all, the Council is founded on the belief that a fair and effective criminal justice system is essential to democracy and a core measure of our nation's well-being. So their rhetoric sounds a little bit liberal. They're supported by Bank of America, Citadel, the Commonwealth Fund, HBO, LinkedIn. Like, I guess, like, you got to get funding somewhere, right? Hold on. No, don't do that. It's doing something stupid right now. I'm sorry. It's my other computer. My other computer is always messing up. The NFL, the David Rockefeller Fund. Yeah, there's some heavy hitters on there, I suppose. But what I'm trying to figure out, like, their political affiliations, because just because they have a little bit of like liberal sounding rhetoric doesn't mean that they are that. By building a membership of top experts, innovators, and influencers, the council creates a center of gravity. What are they talking about, center of gravity? For the criminal justice field, elevates the field in stature and clout, and helps build relationships among leaders and stakeholders who shape the direction of policy and practice and the quality of the national conversation. Membership serves as an acknowledgement of the accomplishments of established leaders and as an honor to which the generation... Oh, come on. Like, what? This is not... Meet our members. Just tell me who you voted for. No. Who are you voting for collectively? No, yeah, I can't. They claim to be like nonpartisan. It's obviously so all right, whatever. We'll go with it, I guess. I was just kind of, wondering about that. So.
In my apartment in Trump Tower, the building is totally sealed off, and if I use hairspray, they say, sir, you're creating an environmental hazard. That's not the kind of thing we want to talk about. But saving the great...
I think aerosol pollution was a very real thing, and we basically, figured out how to mostly solve it, right? Didn't they just change the compounds in the can and shit?
Salt Lake, that's what we're going to be doing, okay?
We're going to have the biggest, saltiest lake you have ever seen.
So this was a good trip for you, Governor. I'll tell you what, because I heard you're the most popular guy there. Now, we put out a statement, and you're in pretty good shape. But there's no coincidence that 17 governors have gone on to become the President of the United States. I'm not surprised by that at all. Whether it's
they're called fucking career politicians, man. Something you are not.
Reforming education, defending public safety, bringing back manufacturing from overseas, or responding to natural disasters, like I think they could call that a natural disaster. I view each of you as essential.
That's not a disaster. It's a gradual change in like the what do you call it? The ecosystem, right? Like, yeah.
It is in our mission to make America great again, and just in time for America 250. This is a big deal. I invite everyone in this room to
250 years old, and we have a fucking a businessman as our president, who likely, he's been convicted of a bunch of crimes already, but he's likely guilty of a lot more than we know about. But who knows, Epstein files or whatever, yeah.
bring forward ideas and opportunities to better serve our people, and in turn, never hesitate to let us know if there's anything we can do for you. This administration is open and available. I met with Governor Abbott today, and you had a couple of requests, unfortunately. He always says very expensive. You know, it's Texas. And he did tell me I got the greatest vote in the history of Texas by far. That's an honor. But it's Texas. It's always big dollars, but I always approve of the Texas, right? So we've taken care of business.
Of course, you get lots of like oil and shit from them, right? Yeah, doesn't Texas have a lot of oil? I think so.
I hope everyone here
Put one in the comments for Texas oil.
tonight.
I don't know.
We'll be back in Washington this summer as we celebrate the glory of the unique heritage of your individual states with a Great American State Fair, and you know all about it. Our National Mall is going to be transformed into something that's actually unbelievable. But first we have to clean up some mess that Maryland and Virginia left us. We're going to be cleaning it
Oh
up.
boy,
It's unbelievable what they can do with incompetence. Together,
you must not have a lot of voters over there.
we're going to make our 250th year the greatest in the history of our country. And we have a couple of other events coming up also very shortly thereafter. We have the World
I
Cup.
don't know how much more
And
of
we
this
have
I
the
can
Summer
stand,
Olympics, and the
honestly.
World Cup has gone out with their tickets, and more than double. They sold more than double what they've ever sold before, way early. And it's unbelievable. The numbers they've done, Susie, are unbelievable. They just came back, and it's really,
Who the fuck is Susie?
really special. It's going to be something that I think that there will be nothing like this period of time. You know, when the election was rigged and I missed my normal second term, I said, this is terrible. But I was the one that got the Olympics, and I was the one that got the World Cup. The problem was I was going to be president for another 4 years, and this was going to take place. Mr. Governor, you're doing a good job in Louisiana. We did a good job in that very special
Hey, I got the Olympics. I got the World Cup. That was all me.
city of yours,
Yeah.
too, with crime, didn't we? Huh?
That's not how those things are picked. That's not. Is that how those things are picked? I
You
don't
said you
think so.
cleaned it out. New Orleans, we cleaned it out. You never had, and your Mardi Gras was a big success, right? But we have so many different things that we can be so proud of, and what's going to happen and what has happened when this horrible event took place with the election, 2020, and I said this is terrible, and then I said, you know what, I got to do it again.
Of course, it was terrible for you because you fucking lost,
we did so
man.
well in that second election. I said I got to do it again, and
That George Carlin skit. He's like, "You're a loser, Bobby." No.
I did it again, and then all of a sudden they're saying, sir, the Olympics are coming up. Sir, the World Cup's coming up. Sir, 250 years is coming up. Now, I took credit for the Olympics. I took credit for the World Cup. And I'm trying to take credit for the 250 years, but I'm not getting away with it. I'm getting hammered. I tried to take credit for 3, but I'll take credit for 2 of the 3. But we're going to have an incredible few years. I mean, we're going to have something special. And, you know, factories are being built all over the country at numbers. I don't know if you saw, but they did job reports just came out, and the numbers of construction jobs is at a record. Well, those jobs are at a record because they're building plants and factories all over the country. We hit
None of it's good to see you. It's been a while. Said electoral college votes in POTUS, right in YHVH. Are you over Jesus? Can we do that? Well, I guess you could write in whoever you want. I think I wrote myself in, the first time I voted. I remember there was like a couple of them where they had the write-in thing, and I didn't know who the candidates were, and so I just wrote myself in at the bottom. I was like, yeah, I'm not voting for some dickhead if I don't know who they are or what they stand for. Basically was my logicking. So I just put myself there, knowing full well nobody else was going to vote for me. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely vote for Jesus. But I'm in California, so people might get confused. There's probably some dude out there walking around with the same name. And so you might inadvertently be voting that guy in,
the Dow hit 50,000. When I got elected, they said it would be great if he could hit 50,000 and by his 4th year, by the end of his 4th year, and I hit it by the end of my 1st year, and then we hit 7,000 on the S&P, and 7,000 was even more difficult. They said it's probably impossible in 4 years, but 5 or 6 years out, well, we did it in 1 year, and you're all the beneficiaries of it. So I just want to thank you. I want to congratulate you for all of the incredible work you've done. Now, we're with some very special reporters tonight. I often say the fake news, but I will not say that tonight, even though I'm on live television. I will not call you fake news, okay? As the cameras are roaring and they say, that guy always can. But we have tonight incredible entertainment. As good as you'll ever see anywhere in the world. We have the
Kehlani. Oh yeah, I guess I'm at liberty to tell you, I mean, it's like public knowledge, but I was at the Olympic gold medal ceremony not too long ago. It took place here in Oakland, California, and so yeah, they had one of those. So I met uh, 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 fucking, why am I drawing a blank right now? Jeez, it's always when you're trying to tell a story, right? No, Olympic figure skater Christy Yamaguchi. I got to meet her at the ceremony, and the other chick whose name I can't remember, the new one that won the gold medal, she was there, but I didn't meet her. And then this Kaylani rapper chick, I guess like everybody was really there for that and stuff like that. But I got to work that event, so it was pretty cool. And we were kind of on the news, not me personally, but some of the guys in our outfit and stuff. So that was pretty exciting. I don't know. I just figured I'd tell that story while it was fresh.
The greatest violinist in the world, and we had an event here about 2 months ago, and she played with Andrea Bocelli right in this room, and she blew the roof off, as they say. She was unbelievable. And when I thought of the governor's dinner, I said, we have to invite her back. So we invited her back. She's here tonight. And of course, we have these genius military musicians who are as good as any musicians in the world. So I said to myself,
Are they though? I'm pretty sure. If they were that good, they would start a band. Oh wait, I think that's actually happened too. No, I'm joshing. Oh, and yeah, the high school marching band was there. They were actually one of my favorites at that event. But yeah, no, I mean we should definitely be paying our armed forces, a hell of a lot more if they're amongst the greatest musicians in the world, because those dudes are making a lot of money. And let's face it, like even some guy with a turntable and a microphone, it could be making more than somebody in the army right now. And they don't even have a backing band, bro.
the press has been relatively fair to me over the last year, meaning they've been bad but not horrible. And I said, if you'd like, should we, by vote, allow the press to watch the great finale that we have planned tonight with the musicians? If you'd like to do it, you can do it. And look at them. They're all dressed up and all looking beautiful. So if you'd like, should we vote, governors? Who's in favor of letting the media watch the great finale tonight of the greatest musicians in the world? I'm in favor. Anybody in favor? Okay. Well, you win by a it's not exactly unanimous, but that's all right. We understand they are politicians after all. So if you'd like to come back a little bit later, we'd love to have you. You'll see some unbelievable entertainment. So governors and
Half of them are like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Just bomb Iran already.
spouses and everybody that's here, and my cabinet members, my great cabinet members, so many are here. I just want to thank you for doing a fantastic job. Our country is back on track. We had a horrible, horrible dead country. 1.5 years ago, we were dead. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world, as said by many leaders of the world. And speaking of leaders,
Hot because of global
we have a
warming.
great leader, a
I think.
great military leader named
I'm just gonna keep saying it. Yeah.
Seth, and he is going to say grace. He's a man who turned out to be absolutely fantastic at what he does, and you know what he does. And he's turned out to be an incredible inspiration to the men and women in our military. Again, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we couldn't get anybody to go into the military. We couldn't get them for the police, for the military, for anything, for firefighters, anything with a uniform on, Governor, right? And now we're setting records in even police departments, fire departments, but the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard, we have waiting lists to get in. In fact, if you'd like to make those great services larger.
Maybe so. I don't know about all that. Like, I do know that ICE and Border Patrol have been trying to recruit like crazy. Like, I get ads all the time. I get them in my LinkedIn feed and my other like job seeking feeds where they are trying to recruit like crazy, and they're even trying to get guys like me who have but that's not military, I guess, whatever. But
This is an awfully good time to do it. Let's make them larger if you want. But we've never had anything like it. We went from a year and a half ago, nobody wanted to join. We could not even come close to our recruitment numbers. And now we're setting records. We have never had anything like it. And all it is spirit and love for our country. It's very simple. So you have done a fantastic job. And Pete, you are doing incredible. And please say grace. Thank you.
let's not say we did. All right. I don't know what this is doing in here. Obviously, it looks like we started covering it, we didn't finish it, so we might just finish it now. I mean, that's what I got for you. So we're walking in reverse here. Really just want to eliminate
And I
some of
took
the
his job.
bullshit.
I thought he was gone. I thought he quit. No, he
I mean, I do occasionally like I watch these videos without y'all, and then sometimes I decide that I'm gonna save it for later for whatever reason. But I feel this is like familiar though. I feel like we did do a portion of this video maybe before. So
Was going to school here, and
you said earn 60K a year, Border Patrol ads. Yeah. And yeah, and you get that sign on bonus too. So there's that. But I think you have to like sign a contract. Like you can't leave after that, right? Like you're stuck for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, whatever it is. Kind of similar to a military deal, but
he went home for a year or less than a year and came back to finish school. And he came back and bumped me right out of my spot. I took a $2 cut. I got raised $2 for taking his place. I thought he quit. I thought he was gone. I shook his hand and said, "Hey man, I'm gonna miss you. You know, thanks for training me. You know, thanks for helping me do this job. You know, thanks for putting in a good word in for me." He came back. He said, "Oh, you can keep the job." You know, but no, they wanted to put him right back where he was, and they gave me a pay cut. I took a $2 pay cut because a Russian dude, you know, came here and was going to school. He quit. He stopped after 2 years, wanted to go home and see his family for a while, spend some time with his family before finishing his other 2 years. So he got
I feel like there's got to be more to that story. Like there's no way you just like this. Why would you even go back to that job if that was the case? I don't know. It sounds like we're missing something,
he got
right?
his I forget what you call it. I guess it's associate degree or whatever.
Like just because an immigrant took my job, then I got my pay cut.
He stepped down, and
No,
then he
I
came
don't. I
back
don't know about
and
that.
finished off where he left off. But you know, and I think he came back and started going to school part time. But you know, he bumped me right out of my spot. I guarantee you, ain't no American's going to go in nobody else's country and do that same thing. I ain't going to go into nobody's country. I ain't going to go to Japan and bump some Japanese dude out of his spot because I'm going to school in Japan.
Well, I mean, yeah, Japan is pretty strict on their immigration policy, right? But I'm sure there's other countries you could probably do that. Usually, the way it works, in my experience, like when I was looking at going up to Canada a while back, um, they were like, "Yeah, we totally let you in, but you need to either have like already have a job offer in Canada, or you have to have like a spouse or significant other, like somebody that you're like gonna be like romantically involved with, or family or something like that, somebody that anchors you in Canada." And a lot of countries kind of have that policy. They're like, hey, these are the two requirements: you know somebody here intimately, or you have a legitimate offer for work, and you're going to go there for that. Like that's usually that's like the majority of civilized world's immigration policy from what I could tell.
Japan, or I'm learning
Oh,
Japanese
and or if you're going to go to school, like they'll let you go to school there if you have like a, yeah, whatever requirements to go to their universities and shit.
or whatever. You know, no, it's not going to happen. Only in America do we have these freedoms for immigrants, but yet at the same time, that's not enough. We cannot deport illegals when we've given them ample time. You don't get this kind of time if you go into the Philippines.
We said Walmart rehires after 2 weeks, so they go and return. Who needs vacation time off when you can just quit? Yeah. Foreigners. What? Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think most companies have that type of policy, right? Like, usually you've got to, if you leave a job or get fired from the job, you've got to like, yeah, because you can already take like a leave of absence, you can take sick time. I mean, honestly, like for me, if I was just to, and this would be highly unusual, right? But like just use up what I get in, like average over a year, like use up my sick time, I could get paid and take a vacation. Just plan it strategically, right? Like Walmart probably doesn't have that, like my company does, um, but anyway, yeah, there's like a certain number of days, like legally, that you can take off, and this is different in every state, obviously, but like California law, I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's a like legally you can take off like 2 weeks of work and they can't fire you for it. Like there's a law on sick time like that. Um, Now you would have to be able to get probably like a doctor's note for some portion of that, I guess, but that's not really like the most difficult thing in the world to do if you know what you're doing. So yeah.
You got a day. You got a week. Your visa is really, really small compared to an American visa. Okay? You know what I mean? You don't get
But I don't even see like why they would do that. Like presumably if they're coming here for work and to make money and then they need to go on vacation, like you just yeah, but like, Walmart probably isn't offering vacation time anyway, and who gives a shit about that job anyway? Like in my opinion, like I don't think most people are trying to make a career at Walmart. I certainly wouldn't. Um, and I think this about a lot of retail jobs, like unless you're trying to get up into management for some reason, like doing that type of thing. Most of the time, if you're out there doing retail in any capacity, it's like a means just to get by. And I don't know, maybe there's some people who genuinely enjoy it like that, but I just think of it as a job you're not going to be able to ever like you know progress or advance in, right? Like you're always going to kind of be stuck at some level, like at the ground floor. And yeah, I don't know.
get weeks and months and years. You get a day. You get a week at the most. Okay? You bring that money with you. You don't own it and become legal or become a resident or anything like that. And again, like I said, when you become a resident, you don't get to own nothing.
Okay, no, I got that wrong. So it's actually 1 week of work. California law, as of January 2024, requires employers to provide at least 40 hours of or 5 days of paid sick leave per year to most employees who work at least 30 days within the year. So that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, so like a week. Like you can take a week off legitimately, and they have to pay you. Like, yeah, that's the way that works.
I think it's Japan that they said, well, you can't own property in Japan in certain places of Japan, like out in the countryside and all like that. But I don't think you can really. I don't think the guy was right. I don't think you can own your own business. Like you can work a business, and that business is good while you're there, but you can't leave and it's just sitting there waiting for you to come back and finish or something like that. They just have strict rules.
Oh, wait. You said Chinese, Sudanese, Burman foreigners work some months and run away home, then work again some months later. Well, no, I've heard of people from Latin America also doing this too. Actually, I've met some of them, and I've worked with some of them, where they come up here, usually during like spring, summer months, and they'll do like something highly specialized, like construction work or ag work or something. They come up here, they get that paycheck, and then they go back home with it, Like, but a lot of those people are doing that through legal channels. So they actually have green cards. Some of them don't, for sure. There's some portion of each, but like the people that I met were actually up here legally, but then they worked, off the books when they were here. However they, manage that. Like, obviously, I would think to have a green card, you would have to be able to get a note from your employer, but like, I don't know what they have to report, and I think it's tax-free for them, right? Like, and again, that's California, so that might be like a statewide thing, but that's just what I've seen. But I mean, as far as I can tell, that appears to be like mostly on the up and up. Like, if they're coming here seasonally, basically taking, these labor jobs, that they're specialized, they have the training for it or whatever, I guess. And the price is right, the farmers want to pay them,
Rules. And it ain't just to Americans, it's to everybody and anybody that comes in there. And here we let, people that hate our country burn our flag right here on American soil and put their flag out the window, and they want to make the neighborhood look like the neighborhood belongs to them.
I think most of the people burning the flag are white kids. Like more often than not, it's gonna be like a young white dude burning the flag. Just yeah, that's my experience.
And all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
But over in their country, you ain't allowed to do any of that.
And Sunday night snafu over here. HR dropping stuff.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to be. You're not allowed to be a Christian. You're not allowed to to witness. You know what I'm saying. You might not even be allowed to wear a Jesus T-shirt. You know what I'm saying. But yet, we got all these freedoms here in the U.S. and people don't appreciate it. And this dude want to get up
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's the young punk ass U.S. kids that are out there burning the flag. They don't appreciate that shit, and it's mostly because they see like the hypocrisy. There's just so much transparent hypocrisy. Do as I say, and all of this bullshit, and it's all of a sudden. Look at all these fucking politicians up in the Epstein files. Do we get to see it? No, no. Justice is blind, especially when it comes to the perpetrators of like child sex trafficking and stuff like that. Unless we can blame, I don't know, some, it's like let's just blame it all on this one dude. But no, like all these other guys are exempt unless we don't like him. Like throw Clinton in there, but we know the truth, right? Like everybody knows the truth about what's going on here, and they don't even really deny it. They're just like, oh, just move on, just ignore that. Like that. Dude, look at the corruption. Why would you expect young people to respect the establishment when the establishment is fucking 99.9% bullshit?
And, Billie Eilish want to get up there, because she's, they're programmed to do that. That's all part of the scheme of the show. I believe a lot of these people, when they go home after a busy day, they're all Republicans. They're Democrats while they're on TV, while they're doing the news, while they're up there singing and dancing and shaking their butt and all that stuff, playing the ukulele, guitar, or whatever. And then when they go home, they get real conservative all of a sudden. All that stuff is just a show, because that's the other way they make their money and they make their publicity. It's all
Billie Eilish? I don't know, man. I think you're barking up the wrong tree there. There may be some cases where that's true, but no, I think we're way off base, off track on this point.
But like AOC, for example, she lives in a very, 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 very conservative part of New York. Her home, to where she lives, is very upstate and very conservative. All that stuff that's going down in that part of New York, with Scam Dunny, as they call him, Scam Dunny. Okay, that ain't gonna happen in her neighborhood. Scam Dunny ain't gonna touch that neighborhood. He ain't bringing that nonsense up there. In that part of New York, that's not too far away. She's probably about 2 hours out of New York City, probably. I'm not sure. Donnie Johnson went up there. He went straight to her neighborhood. Pulled out the mic right in front of her house, showed where she used to live, and he put the mic up in people's mouth up there, and they said, "Oh yeah, she lives right there. We went to school together." Or she graduated with my daughters, or whatever, And you see that neighborhood, good well, that ain't no Democratic neighborhood. That neighborhood is 100% conservative. Okay? You ain't allowed to smoke outside in certain areas in that neighborhood. Okay? No littering signs everywhere. No loitering signs everywhere. It's just...
I almost had like a faux pas moment there. But I'm gonna say it out loud anyway because it's funny. I was like, was that Screwdriver? And I was like, oh no, wait, that was The Who. But Screwdriver did do that song. And I know that, which tells you that I know a little something about, all of that, just saying. It's a truism. I have been there and done that. They love labor, not management? I'm assuming that's management. I don't know. Hard physical work, but hey man, we get 2 weeks a year, but just quit after 4 months and return for a month later. Yeah, there's like seasonal periodic work. If the employer is down for it, then that's what they do. No doubt that, American laborers get screwed, but really that's the result of the labor laws. Like if the employer is allowed to do that and there's no recourse for the workers, that's the problem of the labor laws, right? That doesn't fall on the individual workers. That's the way I see that. So
you ain't allowed to do nothing in that neighborhood. Cop cars parked everywhere. She ain't got nothing to worry about. But she getting on TV, and social media saying all that stuff. Let me let this play.
Humanity started in one place, and we moved to different places. And over time, people changed their environment. They moved on and conquered other environments. How does this guy think he got to Mexico? If he's an original Mexican, whatever that means, you'd have to go back in time, like hundreds of years. His ancestors arrived to, let's say, barren land, and they were fighting other Indian tribes. The Mayans, the Aztecs, they were all fighting each other. What is an original Mexican? The United States, the Native Americans. Okay, well, it wasn't called America when Christopher Columbus found it. There was no America until 1776. Protestant Anglo-Saxons got to Jamestown, their population began to increase, and over time they
I don't know, when did they even start calling it America? Like, it definitely wasn't called America. Like, they called it the New World, right? We're gonna look this one up. We're gonna have a fucking history lesson tonight. I swear to Bob, man. Hold on, I'm pulling up Google again.
to more and more land, then other people from different places in Europe came in and settled different places. They didn't come and invade a country. They came and settled, key word, on territory that wasn't previously being used by the nomadic and different tribes that were out and about. Then the population grew so fast, farming became commercial, and there was a need for...
Well, I mean, okay, what? So this says the Continental Congress officially adopted the name the United States of America on September 9th, 1776, excuse me. This formal declaration replaced the previous official title, United Colonies, which had been in use since 1775. So really, not much further, not long before the, wait. I'm confused. Wait, September 1776 is after July 1776. Hold on. And they used the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America in the Declaration of Independence, but they didn't decide what we're actually calling it, like, until September, I guess. Maybe they voted it in. January 2nd, 1776, the earliest known written use of the full phrase in a letter from Stephen Moylan, an aide-de-camp to General George Washington, to Joseph Reed. And then April 6, 1776, the phrase first appeared in print in an anonymous essay signed by a planter in the Virginia Gazette. And then it's brought up again. John Dickinson used it in June 1776 in the second draft of the Articles of Confederation. So, yeah, took them the better part of a year, I guess, to switch from, like, the United Colonies to, so where does, okay, how do they call it the Americas? When do they start calling it the Americas? Let's keep going, man. The Americas. Where did America first appear? I guess that's the most relevant Google search here. First appeared on a world map in April 1507. Okay, so the word America was, like, around for a while. It was like the continent, I guess. Used by German cartographer Martin Waldseemüller in his map titled Universalis Cosmographia. This map is often referred to as America's birth certificate because it was the first document to name the continent and depict the Americas as a landmass distinct from Asia. Crazy stuff, man.
for labor, so there was a slave trade, but there was still no country until hundreds of years later when they decided we do not want to be ruled by a king thousands of miles away. We want to rule and govern ourselves. And they created a country called the United States of America. The name was unique. The territories were unique. It was not a country that got stolen from anybody. Mexico was also colonized, but no one ever talks about that because it wasn't done by the English. It was done by the Spaniards. And the Spaniards completely made Mexico what it is today. That's why there's no such thing as Mexican blood. You are either a mestizo, which means mixed between native Mexican or native to that land, and European, Spanish to be exact, or you're white, or you're black, and whatever. Those are smaller amounts of the population. So when this guy, who's probably a mestizo himself, screams, this is actually Mexico, like, what are you doing? I thought Cat Williams handled that like a G. Told him, if you're living in the United States and benefiting from this country, you can't be repping another one. You can be from Mexico. There's nothing wrong with that. You can be from Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Panama. But if you are a U.S. citizen, you better love this country and everything that comes with it. Anyways, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Thank you all very much for watching. God bless and goodbye.
All right.
I think the term we're looking for is Latinx. I don't even know if Mexicans technically exist anymore at this point. I'm not sure we're allowed to say
my
that.
video, folks. Thank you for stopping by and watching.
I'm allowed to say that because my son is part Mexican. But anyway, fuck you guys. Be offended. Be very offended.
So the question is, are Mormons atheists?
Mormons actually have a very good knowledge of Scripture and the ability to cite chapter and verse, but what they don't have is philosophy. If somebody believes that you should worship Adam, that person is an idolater.
Do Mormons today agree with you that Brigham Young, in this sense, taught idolatry?
It's just not true that it's just alleged to have been taught,
Yeah.
and it's not true that it was just a theory. It is a false doctrine.
How many gods would Brigham Young say there were, and then how many gods would Jacob Hansen say there are?
Jacob was asked almost this direct question. The question he was asked was whether God the Father had a God that he worshipped.
What did he say?
There's two things. One, how many gods are there? Two, what do we mean by gods?
I should probably turn the speed down on this one. This is kind of
When
serious.
you create
Yeah.
content, when you build a statue, we can call Michelangelo a creator in a certain sense, but he doesn't create the marble. He just turns the marble into something beautiful.
The God that we are bound to worship, is it
Okay,
fair
let's
to
try
say he
this
was once
again.
a man like we are now? So the
We'll go back
question
to the
is, are
beginning.
Mormons atheists?
Are Mormons atheists? No. They're the fucking Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you dumb fuck. This is the dumbest question you can lead off with, but okay.
Mormons actually have a very good knowledge of Scripture and the ability to cite chapter and verse. But with
That, in my experience, it varies from person to person. The Mormon Church does not emphasize as much in the original biblical text. They know their own scripture. They know the Book of Mormon pretty well for the most part. Again, to varying degrees from my experience. So they place some emphasis on the Bible, but basically everything in the Book of Mormon is a parallel or a reference to something in the Bible. Excuse me. And so they pretty much use it that way. Like they just want to see where prophecy is fulfilled from the Bible into the Book of Mormon, and then try to like extend that outwards into contemporary times.
But what they
whatever.
don't have is philosophy. If somebody believes that you should worship Adam, that person is an idolater.
Do Mormons
Yeah, I don't know that they do not have philosophy. I mean, they definitely do emphasize on the commandments, and they have additional like interpretations on the commandments, and specifically in the teachings of Christ, I think. So there's things that other Christians don't trip on so much, if they're not like super Orthodox or whatever. I guess even some of the Orthodox guys, like, you know, for me, like the Mormons want me to quit smoking. Like whenever it became known that I was a smoker. And so they were like, well, hey, we're not telling you what you have to do. We're not going to kick you out of the church, but we think it'd be better if you didn't smoke, that type of thing. We're going to encourage you and support you to quit that. There's a lot of Christians who would just let it go. Just be like, yeah, whatever, that's them. But the Mormons make it a kind of a point to say like, well, hey, like we really want to bring you into the fold here, so you should stop that bad habit, you know, and they have their own logic and reasoning behind it. So I think it's a little bit more, like, I don't want to say exclusive, but more authoritative, I guess, something like that.
Mormons today agree with you that Brigham Young, in this sense, taught idolatry?
It's just not true that it's just alleged to have been taught.
Yeah.
And it's not true that it was just a theory. It is a false doctrine.
How many gods would Brigham Young say there were, and then how many gods would Jacob Hansen say there are?
Jacob was asked almost this direct question. The question he was asked was whether God the Father had a God that he worshipped.
What did he say?
There's two things. One, how many gods are there? Two, what do we mean by gods? Steel manning it, they're going to say he's a creator in the same way that any artist is a creator. When you create content, when you build a statue, we can call Michelangelo a creator in a certain sense, but he doesn't create the marble. He just turns the marble into something beautiful.
The god.
I find that interesting too, because like a big element in the church, and that, you know, like something I was talking about today, was that I appreciate the music, I appreciate the doing the hymns, and you know, singing in chorus and stuff like that, and I feel like there's some aspect of like spiritual connection there. And then, but when I think about it too, like myself as a creator, a writer of songs, like when I created music, like it was, you know, I hope that people would enjoy it, but at the end of the day, I create that music for me, right? And so like whenever you write like a worship song, like that is supposed to be to like transfer that energy, whatever I'm taking for me out of my song. Like if I was to write like a religious hymn or something, like that would intrinsically, like the energy, that connection would go to the deity that's referenced in the music, right? Or to God. And so therefore, like as a creator of content, whatever it is, if I'm doing it in like self-service, then I am kind of acting as like a demigod. I don't know if that made any sense. Something like that. Yeah. And like what he's talking about, it's like great art or whatever, or any type of art. If it is appreciated, like where does that intention go when somebody appreciates the art, and who are they appreciating? Well, they're appreciating the person who makes the art, right? But you can transfer that and make it so that they're actually appreciating the subject of the art.
God that we are bound to worship. Is it fair to say he was once a man like we are now, according to LDS today?
Yes, overwhelming.
My next question, was he once a sinner?
That is a good question.
So yeah, I guess the full interview is over at the Finest Guy. Matt,
You are a
Frad,
child of God. He's
You
your
are a
father.
child of God. Yep.
He knows you perfectly.
It's a missionary.
He loves you perfectly. He sent his son, Jesus Christ, to the earth to redeem you from your sins. He wants
What
you
the
to be
fuck?
happy. He wants you to
You see this
return
just
to
popped
live
up
with
in the
him
corner
again.
here?
When you rely on him, you can do hard things. You got this.
They're playing
If you
with
want
me.
to learn more about what it means to be a child of God, click the link below to meet with missionaries.
I swear that they're fucking playing with me, dude. The algorithm's got me. It's all a setup. YouTube is your overlord. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? Create your own paint, Michelangelo. Get your own dirt, Satan. I like it. We were made from dust, as my good friend Twitch Angry from Sacramento would say. Actually wrote it in a song one time, and I sang that song, and you can find it probably on YouTube. I don't know, not me singing it. It was the other guy singing it, but I sang for him for a time. But we didn't do recordings. But anyway, that's another thing for another time, I guess. Going through here, I think we'll probably just call it a day. Just call it a day. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do right now. But I should probably get some rest. That's something I should definitely do. We'll watch this and then we'll go. Dude, that's awesome. I'll just pause right there now. I've always wanted to do voice work. Actually, we used to produce audio skits back in the day when we started recording, but I got out of that. But I've always been interested in doing that type of work. And yeah, as a singer, that's like my primary role. I feel like I learned to write music just so that I would have a backdrop for the words that I was writing. But I haven't written very much poetry in the last couple of years.
VCR. Watch another action movie. Dream of me.
Dude, yeah, the ventriloquism, that's awesome. I wish I had the talent. I can work the puppet, but I can't throw my voice. I've never mastered that, but yeah, props on that one, T Stark. Great stuff. on that note, Smokey Saint, he's a
So it turns out
a mensch amongst mensch, or whatever the fuck they called him. I I do. No, I'm not even gonna go there tonight. I'm just gonna say the same thing I say at the end of every broadcast, because I always say exactly the same thing every time I fucking end a broadcast. I never diverge from that, and I say much love, be kind, be well, and stay trusty. And I see we had T Stark CEO and Nunya Biz over here tonight, and whoever else was lurking. Much appreciated. Do hit the like button on your way out if you feel the need to, or don't, whatever. And yeah, that'll be about it. Have a great week. See you next time.